this man disappeared without a trace, then came back 30 years later like nothing ever happened. In 1991, a man left his home for what was supposed to be a short business trip. He told his wife and children he would be gone for a few days. He lived in a quiet rural area and made his living selling cattle. Traveling was part of his routine. He would often take a train to nearby cities, handle his business, and return home within a few days. So when he packed his things that morning and left, no one thought twice about it. But this time was different. He never came back. At first, his family assumed there had been a delay. Maybe business had taken longer than expected. Maybe something unexpected had come up. But as time went on, worry turned into fear. They reported him missing. Police opened an investigation. They checked train records. They questioned people in the cities he was supposed to visit. They searched for any trace of him, but there was nothing. No evidence that he had ever arrived at his destination. It was as if he had simply vanished. Over time, hope faded. His family was forced to accept a painful possibility, that he was gone. Years passed, and eventually they held a memorial in his honor. Life moved on, and the children grew up, but his disappearance was never explained. Then, 30 years later, something happened that no one could have predicted. A car slowly drove down the road and stopped in front of the family home. No one recognized the vehicle. It didn't belong to anyone in the village. Then the door opened, and an old man stepped onto the road. For a moment, no one reacted. Then someone realized who it was. It was him, the same man who had disappeared 30 years earlier. Now, standing in front of the same house, alive. The neighbors who witnessed it were too shocked to pay attention. Later, none of them could describe the driver. No one remembered the license plate. It was as if the moment itself refused to stay clear in their memory. The car drove away, and just like that, he was back. When his family rushed to him, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. He was older, of course, but something didn't make sense. He wasn't weak. He wasn't sick. He didn't look like someone who had suffered. He looked normal, clean, well-dressed, taken care of, as if someone had been looking after him all these years. Then they noticed something even stranger. He was wearing the same clothes he had on the day he left. In his pockets, they found his identification and the train ticket he had bought 30 years earlier. Everything was still there untouched, as if time had simply stopped. When they asked him what had happened, he seemed confused. He didn't understand why everyone was reacting this way. To him, nothing unusual had happened. He recognized some of his family, but when they asked him where he had been all these years, he gave a simple answer. I was home. He couldn't explain anything else. No details, no memories, no sense of time passing. Just those 3 words. And to this day, no one knows what really happened, where he was for 30 years, who brought him back, or how a man can disappear for decades and return as if he never truly left. So, what do you think really happened to him during those 30 years? Leave your answers in the comments.